Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. You know, there is just so much noise out there right now about what skills you supposedly need to survive the artificial intelligence revolution. Well, today we are cutting straight through that noise. We're going to break down the actual realities of the 2026 AI job market using hard data, because we really want to uncover what your true competitive advantage is going to be moving forward.
So, let's start here. Is prompt engineering the future? I mean, for the last couple of years, you literally couldn't scroll through your feed without someone telling you that becoming a prompt engineer was your golden ticket. It was pitched as the absolute only way to survive the AI age, right? We've all been told that if we don't master the exact technical phrasing to talk to these machines, we are just going to be left behind. But is that actually true?
Well, looking at the 2026 job market data analyzed by RedScore, that exact myth gets completely crushed. Out of millions of active job postings, there are just over 7,300 for prompt engineers. To put that into perspective, compare it to over 77,000 for machine learning roles and a massive 140,000 for traditional software engineers. Prompt engineering represents a tiny, tiny fraction of the market. Actually, it's just 5.4% of the demand for Python developers alone. So, as a primary career path, the data says it's simply not there.
Now, you might be wondering, why is there so much internet hype around it then? It really comes down to this massive average salary, $164,840 for a prompt engineer role. You know, when you can actually find one. This explains exactly why the role generates so much buzz. It's incredibly lucrative. As the researchers put it, it's nice work if you can get it.
But it's a really striking dichotomy. Yes, the pay is through the roof, but people holding prompt engineer as their actual job title make up just 0.01% of the database. It's a super rare add-on skill, not a realistic primary career path for the vast majority of us. At this point, just knowing how to use ChatGPT is basically considered table stakes.
And honestly, this is what actually happens to hype cycles. Remember the metaverse, where NFTs? Completely dead. They have under 300 job postings each right now. But boring, traditional enterprise tech like Oracle? It has more than double the demand of trendy frameworks like React. Even COBOL, a language people have literally been declaring dead for 30 years, is still quietly employing people at $130,000 a year. Unglamorous enterprise tech isn't going to get you followers on social media, but the data proves for sure that it will get you employed.
Okay, moving on to our first main section, the human skills premium.
So, if basic AI tasks are increasingly automated, what actually differentiates candidates today? This represents a massive paradigm shift, and it's perfectly captured by the World Economic Forum. Information no longer differentiates people. Agency does. Think about it. For generations, we went to school to acquire information. But now AI has access to all the information in the world. Knowing facts or having basic tech literacy just doesn't provide a competitive edge anymore. What gives you an edge is your agency. It's your ability to take action, navigate ambiguity, and actually shape outcomes.
The WEF reframes this by pointing back to the concept of artes liberalis, or the liberal arts. Now, don't think of outdated college degrees here. Originally, these were the foundational capacities young people needed to become self-governing humans. We're talking about analytical thinking, creativity, ethical judgment, resilience. These are the vital, uniquely human skills required to effectively govern and apply AI in the real world. But here's the challenge, right? Historically, we taught these skills through reading and writing essays, which are tasks that AI can now completely shortcut. So modern education is shifting dramatically toward experiential learning models. We're seeing a huge push for sustained internships, professional immersion, global experiences, and entrepreneurship programs. Organizations like NFTE in the US, CSCTA in Switzerland, and Unistream in Israel are intentionally using real-world business challenges to cultivate human skills. Why? Because while AI can easily write an essay for you, it absolutely cannot replicate the lived action of pitching a business, reading a room, or collaborating with a team to solve a messy, real-world problem. All right, let's dive into part 2, Enter Human in the Loop. Moving from the philosophical side of things to the highly practical, data from Scoop Analytics shows that Human in the Loop, or HITL, is the absolute secret to responsible AI in 2026. This is an AI design approach where human judgment is intentionally embedded into the machine learning workflow. It's not just a fallback for when systems fail, it's a core feature from the start. It is the essential control mechanism that ensures AI actually aligns with real business goals and doesn't just run wild based on some random patterns it found in the data. There are 3 distinct tiers of involvement here. First, human in the loop,
where a person must actively initiate or approve an action. Second, human on the loop, where the AI runs autonomously, but a human monitors it and can hit the brakes, kind of like with self-driving cars. And finally, human out of the loop, which is fully autonomous. Scoop Analytics points out a really vital reality for 2026. The highest risk doesn't come from basic automation. It comes from supposedly autonomous systems making high-stakes decisions without any human oversight whatsoever.
Which brings us to Section 3, why AI needs humans. So businesses aren't relying on human oversight just out of the goodness of their hearts, right? There are 4 practical ways human judgment is injected into workflows. First up, pre-processing, where humans set the boundaries and label data before the AI even acts. Second, in the loop, which actually blocks execution. Think of a procurement AI finding a cheap vendor, but requiring a human manager's sign-off before it can actually spend the money. Third, post-processing, where humans review generated output, like a coder reviewing GitHub Copilot suggestions. And fourth, parallel feedback, where humans correct the AI asynchronously while it runs. These steps are absolutely critical to catch AI hallucinations, mitigate hidden algorithmic biases, and comply with strict new regulations like the EU AI Act.
Now, of course, you don't need a human for every single thing. You absolutely demand human in the loop for high-stakes situations, like hiring, medical diagnoses, credit approvals, or where the law strictly mandates it. But you skip it for low-stakes, highly repetitive tasks that require instant speed, like routing network traffic or basic spam filtering.
To really see why pure autonomy fails at edge cases, just look at the Roomba dilemma. Early autonomous vacuums were highly efficient at cleaning right up until they encountered a new puppy's pet waste on the rug and, well, efficiently spread it all over the entire house. Pure automation failed spectacularly. It took years of human-labeled context, literally humans identifying images of pet waste to train the model, to fix the algorithm. AI desperately needs our lived context to navigate the messy real world.
All right, let's tie this all together in our final section, your future AI career.
Synthesizing all of this, what does this massive paradigm shift actually mean for your career? Well, the financial proof is right here in the data. The booming salary range from ZipRecruiter for AI ethics jobs in May 2026 sits between $66,000 and $196,000. The market is placing a massive, massive premium right now on human judgment, ethics, and oversight.
So the crucial takeaway for you is this. The future is not about competing with AI. It is about managing it. Your true competitive advantage does not lie in trying to outcode a machine or figuring out the perfect prompt before an algorithm does. It lies in your human empathy, your ethical framework, your lived experience, and your agency to make complex decisions. AI is just the tool. You are the manager of that tool.
Which leaves us with one final provocative question to ask ourselves today. Will you exhaust yourself trying to compete with AI, or will you develop the uniquely human skills required to manage it? Think about how you are investing in your own professional development right now. It's time to double down on what makes you human. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.